Our topic today is personality types. You know what? We all know that we can have different personality types. Eh, in a social group, there are all of the time people who loves to drink. There is the musician, the friendly one, the troublemaker, the funny one, the best friends, the young one, the old one, the crazy one, and of course, we have the team player, the serious ones, the sneaky ones, the conceited ones. So, what about you, Emiliano? What kind of person are you? Talk to us about yourself.
Um, well, I'm more. I am shy most of the time. I don't talk too much. For example, I am not the friendly one.
So, you are a little more timid?
Yes.
Okay, pretty good. Thank you. So, Juan, what about you? What kind of person are you? Okay, he said, my personality is to be observant. I love learning. Excellent. Hey, Juan, that's so nice. Thank you very much. So, let's see some vocabulary. Here we have some exponents of vocabulary. So, uh, please, could you look at those words and say if you recognize some of your personality traits? Maybe you could say that you are a diligent person, that you are careful, reserved. I don't know. What do you think about this? Could you choose uh, five adjectives that describe the way you are? Okay, Juan, pretty good. You wrote independent, discreet, patient. Excellent. Okay, persistent in learning English. Excellent. That's pretty good, Juan. Emiliano, what about you?
Sarcastic, nervous, inconsistent, I think, lazy,
Lazy.
lazy, mm, emotional, mm,
Okay.
serious. Yes.
Wow, good. Now, could you select also five adjectives that don't describe you, the things that you are not?
polite, easygoing. What does mean plucky?
Plucky. Plucky is a valiant person, a very brave person.
Em, ¿Como temerario?
Ajá, valiente.
Okay.
Okay, here Juan wrote, I don't know what is Sulen. Okay, well, let me tell you that Sulen is a person who is sad most of the times, who tends to be alone, is a person who is not very sociable. Into Spanish, we call it osco, huraño. That's sullen. And adjectives that not describe me, the adjectives that don't describe me. Arrogant, timid. Hey, that's great. Not to be arrogant. That's good. Okay, pretty good. So, you know what? I would like you to write in the chat some of the words that are non-familiar to you, that you don't know. For example, I don't know if you understand what is plucky or what is pompous. So the ones that are more non-familiar to you, please write them on the chat and we are going to talk about them, all right?
Okay.
Sorry, teacher, I don't listen to instructions.
I'm sorry, I was saying the directions with the microphone off. Yes, we are going to write in the chat the different words, the new ones, the ones that you don't know. For example, Emiliano wrote cantankerous. Okay, Emiliano wrote cantankerous. Cantankerous is a person who is very easily angry. Is the one who is angry most of the time. Into Spanish, we call it like cascarrabias. We could say that's a cantankerous person. Uh, witty. Witty is a very creative person, a very ingenious one. One wrote clumsy. Clumsy is a person who is not very agile, or that it's sometimes uh, difficultly moving. Into Spanish, we can say kind of like torpe, burdo, clumsy, nasty. Nasty is a person who is very unkind, but it's a perverse person. Polite. Polite, it's Polite. Polite. Polite is a person who is very educated, very, into Spanish we say cortés, very politically correct. Bossy. Bossy is a person who likes to say all of the time what you have to do. It's a person who is ordering most of orders. Selfish. Selfish is a person who thinks only in himself or herself. Sneaky. Sneaky is a person who is most of the times in looking for things that he or she is um, are not well, they shouldn't be interested in. They are like spying people. Into Spanish we say chismoso, metiche, sneaky, soplón. Emiliano wrote amiable. Well, amiable is a person very kind, very lovely. Thought. Thought is a person who is hard, who is resistant, who is difficult. For example, a talked person is the one who doesn't easily believe in what you say, that you can't convince very easily. And Diente is a very fine person, a very sophisticated and very refined. So I would like to talk to you about myself. Uh, I am not a cantankerous person because I try not to be angry very, very frequently. I like to be very tolerant. I am a very witty person because when I have problems, I try to solve them very quickly, very practically. Clumsy. Am I a clumsy person? No, I don't think I am a clumsy person because I am very careful about what I do, what I look, how I look, I mean. Nasty. No, I am not definitely a nasty person because I try to be good with all of the people and I try not to be any annoying person. I am a very polite person. I try to deal with the others at it as it is supposed. I am not a bossy person. Well, whenever I am in the secondary school, I am. I have to be a bossy person, but not with the other ones, only with my secondary school students. Uh, Selfish. No, I am not a selfish person. I am very generous. I am not a sneaky person because I try to be respectful with the things, with all of the others issues. I am a very amiable person because I like to deal the others in a nice way. I am not a thought person. You can convince me very easily when you say good reasons. And definitely, I am a dainty person. I like to be very delicate, very refined, sometimes exquisite. What about you, Emiliano? Could you say how you are and why? Emiliano, hello.
Sorry, I have muted my microphone.
It's okay. So what about
I Yes, I am an independent person because I don't, most of the time, I don't need help by of others. I try to do the things by myself. I am a shy person because I don't talk too much with others. I don't express too much myself when I am surrounded by people. I am an ambitious person because I try to grow up. I mean, in my professional career. Sometimes I'm not a careful person. I have missed the details of the things on my work. Maybe I am. Most of the time, I am sarcastic. I because I don't know. I just like to be sarcastic when I talk with others. Mm, I'm not an energetic person. I'm not have much energy. Even when I sleep well, I don't have much energy. Or energetic person is does mean other thing, or it's about a person who is, has a lot of energy.
Yeah, energetic is a person who is all of the time doing things
Oh
and
yes, okay.
they seem not to be tired.
Yes. I'm not a self-confident person. Most of the time um, I olvido cómo se dice dudar.
But you, how do you say what?
Dudar.
To hesitate.
Most of the time I hesitate of my person and my capabilities. Um, I'm not a polite person. I sometimes I don't have the touch with the others. When I talk with the others, I don't be diplomatic. But also, I am a cooperative person. I have the I always put the options to, or I gave options to resolve problems, and I think that's all.
Hey, that's it. Thank you very much. Okay, Juan, what about you? Juan, okay. Excellent, Juan. Thank you very much. He wrote, in my case, I consider into present that I am responsible, optimistic, meticulous, funny, tolerant, very sensible. I love to be affable. I am Inés teacher, adults education, and I love to work with them. Excellent. Juan, pretty good. Thank you very much. So, you know what, guys? Let's go to the next image. Who are you? Type A personality or type B personality? What about you, Emiliano?
Mm, I think uh, sometimes I'm type A, or sometimes I type B.
Why?
because um, I procrastinate so much most of the time.
Why?
Mm, I don't know. I just do that.
That's it. You know what? I think that in some cases we can be type A. For example, maybe whenever we talk about projects.
Yes.
Uh, but in some others, we tend to be type B. In my personal case, for example, when I have to spread my bed, to do my bed, geez, I am the type B because I think about it mostly on weekends. I say, yes, I will do it later because I will lay down on bed in a couple of minutes. And it is middle day and I haven't
Mm.
spread my bed. So I think that in those kind of things, my personality could be type B sometimes. Okay, so Juan, what about you? Okay, Juan wrote, 5 months ago, I was type B because I lost a loved one. Oh, I'm sorry. But nowadays I understood in past that the life is wonderful and I am here for something to contribute with something. Excellent, Juan. That's a great attitude. Okay, thank you very much. So let's go to the next image. Ta-da! Look at this. So here we have 4 different kinds of personality. So what is your kind of personality? What about you, Emiliano?
Mm, I think I am between compliant and stable. Uh, One question. It's correct to say between these two or among.
Between. When you
Okay.
are talking about two, it's between. And when you are talking about many different things or many different people, then it is among.
Okay. Yes, and so yes, I think I am between compliant and stable personality types.
Why? Why, Emiliano?
Mm, because I like to analyze the situations, the things, the people, but also, well, in the study stable, it's the part of research. I like research. For example, the last Friday, I went to the university to be a volunteer in a project that it's develops projects about uh, behavioral economics. It's a transdiscipline psychology. And also sometimes I read the terms and conditions. Not all the terms and conditions, but I try to read the rules. Um, and also sometimes I'm a team player. I don't have problem working in a cooperative mode, and I'm not so competitive person. Um, Focus on community. I think yes, mm, I forgot how to say preocuparse por las
Worry?
personas. Take care. Yes, preocuparse por las personas sería take care.
Take care, or to be engaged.
Okay. Mm. Yes, I think to be engaged with the people. And yes, I try to support others and sometimes me. And that's the reason I think I between these personality types.
Hey, that's great. Yes, you're right. Sometimes we think that that we have one personality type, but no, that's not true. We can have some traits of some of them, as you said. For
Mm.
example, in my case, I am a dominant person sometimes. I have powerful energy. I am a direct communicator. I'm very decisive, but I am time and task oriented. I am a natural leader, about influential. I enjoy the spotlight. I like to be liked. I tend to be the life of the party. I am warm and I am honest. I am a natural talker. But talking about compliant, I love analysis, but I am not very stickler for the rules. I am not a perfectionist. I don't read the terms and conditions most of the times. I am naturally very accurate. But yes, as I told you before, some of the others, no, I am about being steady. I am a loyal team player. I am focused on community, but I don't like to research. I am not calm. I am carrying energy, but not so calm. Yes, I am a natural supporter. So I think that I could be dominant, influential, and steady, but not so compliant. What about you, Emiliano? Well, you said also you have already spoken about most of these personality types. What do you think that is your major?
My mayor means what in this case?
Yeah. What is your principal type of personality?
Oh, okay. Mm, I think mm, steady and stable.
Hey, that's great. What about compliant?
Mm, but what is the question about?
Yeah, what is your main personality type? You mentioned that you are steady,
Yes,
but what about a little compliant or not at all?
yes, part, just a little part. Maybe the perfectionist is not my main. It's not so. mm, it's not my personality.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
M- Maybe naturally very accurate is also not part of my personality. So I think that's the reason I am more steady and stable than compliant.
That's it. All right, thank you very much, Emiliano. So, Juan, what about you? Okay, so Juan wrote, my personality is influential in the persons, in the people. I can help in hard situations. I love to highlight their skills. And in my opinion, I am a natural talker. Hey, that's it. So you could be a dominant, you can have a dominant personality, I think. Juan, I think that you can also be steady because you focus on community and you are calm and caring and energy. You are a natural supporter and I think that you are a loyal team player. Well, I don't know you, but according to that's great. Yes, according to what I can see about what you wrote, you can also be uh, steady and a little compliant. You're dominant also. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Now, let's move to another image. Here you are. So, personality types of successful people. Let's talk about successful people in terms of technology. Emiliano, could you mention any successful people, a successful person, I mean, in technology?
I think on Steve Jobs.
Aha,
This
yes.
yes, I think he understands how to deliver a product to the people, but
Aha,
also not just in the he provides a solution need for the needs of the population, but also he works in the user design. He focus on yes on the design of the product, and I think he was a leader in that subject. For example, I think the most notable design he did was the iPhone because it's a design that other companies follow.
aha. Hey, that's great. Yes, you're right. I totally agree with you. Okay, Juan, could you talk to us about any successful person talking about technology? Okay, maybe have technique skills. Yes, but who do you think that can be a very successful person in technology? Emiliano talked about Steve Jobs, but what about you? What's your opinion? You know what? I think that another very successful person in terms of technology could have been Stephen Hopkins. Well, it is not only technology, I think it's science. Yeah, no, I'm not okay. I committed a mistake. It's not technology. Whenever we talk about Stephen Hopkins, we say about invention and science. You know what? I think that um, about his personality, he, in my opinion, he was a steady person. I think that he is a person who, of course, he is interested in investigation, can be a um, very steady person because he needs to be concentrated on his investigation and he can be a team player also because investigation is not done by only one person. Of course, he needed any help. Okay, so Juan, Mark Zuckerberg is a successful person. Person when it is one, people when it is two or more. In social, TIC. Excellent. Yes, that's it. Thank you very much, Juan. Okay, let's go to consumer goods. Eh, Whenever we talk about consumer goods, we talk about production. So, who do you consider that could be a successful person talking about consumer goods? Uh,
Mm, well, I don't know if could be into a successful people, but I like the work he did. It's the CEO of a clothing brand called Los Angeles Apart, and it's a company that manufacturing clothes, but all is produced in the United States. They don't outsource or subcontract any part of the product. And when one of the objectives of the company is to develop a product, but also give to the people who works in that company a well-paid job, in contrast with the other companies of clothing that produce or manufacturing outside of the original countries and subcontract in Asia or other Middle East countries with bad salaries and bad job conditions.
wow. Yes, you're right. I think that it was pretty good. Thank you. Okay. So Juan wrote, Carlos Slim is a very successful person because he sells drunk food drink and he buys another companies. He buys another or he runs another companies. Maybe he runs. Hey, that's it. You know what? Yes, I agree. Because, well, I focused Carlos Slim on Telmex, but not, you're right. It is Telmex is not his only company. And yes, he's a very successful person in business. Eh, it is something so um, amazing for me because he is involved in many different market products. Uh, Definitely, he is a business person. I don't know if I could say about consumer goods only or also finance and investment. I think that it's both consumer goods and finance and investment. Hey, that's great. That was very interesting also. Okay, so let's talk about literature, creative writing and design. What do you think about this, Emiliano? Any successful person in literature or creative writing and design?
Mm,
Well, here Juan wrote, in literature, the person very successful that I know is Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz. Oh yes, of course. And Paulo Coelho. You know what? I think that they are not only successful people, but also what is now called influencers, because they can be the influence for many people nowadays. Okay, Emiliano, what's your opinion?
Mm, I don't know. I think there is so much successful person in literature. Uh, I would choose. Mm, I don't know who. Well, I don't remember the name of the author, but it's Edward Craig, and it's a philosopher of the last century, and he wrote books to introduce the people to philosophy.
Hey, that's it. That's pretty nice.
Yes, because he used a common language. So I don't know how to say, or if there is a word to say that he wrote de una manera fácil de leer,
The easy way to read. Also, comprehensible reading.
comprehensible reading. Um, yes, I choose him.
Hey, that's it. All right, thank you very much. You know what? Here Juan wrote, in financial topics, I consider that Miguel Ángel Osorio Chong, he's vested with the financial authority. Okay, hey, that sounds very interesting. Why? Why, Juan? Uh, what about what about you, Emiliano? Talking about finance and investment.
Mm, maybe Rockefeller. He was a successful person in that topic. I don't know if he was the most ethic person, but I know that he creates a empire. I think he started with oil and gas industry, but he also develops other business.
Yes, that's it. And he's one of the main people in the World Bank, as you said. So,
Yes.
yes, I totally agree with you. All right, so Juan wrote about Miguel Ángel Osorio Chong that he, in the news, the government says that he's an important financial person like SHCP. Yes, you're right. That's it. I agree with you. Now let's talk about a bone of contention, contention, a very controversial topic in politics. Who could be a successful person in politics?
I don't know.
You know what? I think that this topic is very difficult because
Yes.
we may have very different opinions, and sometimes because of that difference of opinions, many people tend to fight, to argue. So, well, you know what? I think that a very successful person in politics could be, um, what's the name of the president of Russia?
Vladimir Putin.
Ah, yes, that's it. I think that Vladimir Putin is a very successful politician. because he has been in the power for a long time and he could help Russia to finish with that economical crisis that it had from the perestroika. Do you remember?
Yes.
So I think, in my opinion, Vladimir Putin is a very successful politician. And he has been not only task oriented, but also a great leader and so an influencer one.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah, what's your opinion about this one? Okay, he wrote that in politics, maybe the Union Congress, that they don't do anything, but the laws are created by them. Wow, it was so contundent. Yes. Yes, they are successful people because even though they don't work as they should, they create laws and they rule our country. Okay, Emiliano, what about you? What's your opinion?
I don't know how to choose for as a successful person in this
It's,
topic.
it's
Sorry, I can choose one.
okay, it's difficult. All right, well, finally, let's talk about invention and science. What's your opinion about invention and science, Emiliano?
Um, Here, I don't know who to choose because there is so much invention and research that
Yes.
are so valuable. Um,
Well, here Juan wrote that Albert Einstein is the most important scientific in the history. He was brilliant. He invented a lot of things. Oh, I wish I had his mind. Oh, good. Yes. He
yeah,
was a brilliant scientific.
I choose Herder. Maybe he will not fit in this topic because he was a philosopher, a German philosopher, but m- much of the thesis and her, ¿cómo se dicen? Postulados.
Oh my, let me look for it. I confess that I don't know how to say that in English. So let me look for it into a dictionary. Postulados. Give me a moment. I haven't thought about that word before. I think that it could be prompts, but I am not sure. Postulados. Okay, give me a moment. Postulate or assumption or proposition. Postulate.
Okay, and mo- some of his postulates are now the basis of new hypotheses and new theories of how the human mind works. Uh, One is the now in psychology there is a area that studies the cognition, but on the basis that we our cognition works with all our body and not just with the brain. But that was something he wrote about 200 years ago. So I
Wow.
think well, I choose him for this topic for that
Yeah,
reason.
that's right, Emiliano. And guess what? Here we didn't include that part, that division. Philosophy is very important, and we didn't consider it here. But what you said about Hegel is totally true. I agree with you so much. Yes, it was postulates, Juan. Thank you very much. You know what? We could continue talking a lot about this interesting topic, but unfortunately, time is over. So I don't know if you want to say any commentary or to ask any question.
No,
Okay, well, you know what? Next week is going to be our last class. So I promise that we are going to have a very nice topic for our last class. And so thank you very much for your attention, for your attendance, and for your participation. And meet you next class. Have a very good night.
thank you, teacher. Good night.
Thank you very much, Emiliano. Thank you very much, Juan. He wrote, "Turn to read us. Have a fabulous week at all." Excellent. Thank you very much. Likewise, Juan and Emiliano. Have
Bye.
a very good night and an excellent week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.